Hello, today Team 8 will be presenting on our audit of Operation Warp Speed, a team whose mission was to accelerate the development of a COVID-19 vaccine. First, we will discuss the development of our audit framework. Next, we will explain our selection of the Operation Warp Speed team. Then we will go over the implementation and results of the audit. Focusing on factors correlated to team performance was a primary concern during the development of Team 8's audit. By reducing the scope of Team 8's audit to key factors, a more efficient tool was created to assess the effectiveness of the team. After reviewing the Cary Business School's effective teaming course materials, Team 8 was able to compile a list of factors that could be measured using an audit. The key factors that are considered in the audit can be categorized into 4 groups. The first and second groups focus on the team's preparation and results. The third and fourth groups focus on the team's relationship and environment. Auditing these 4 groups addresses the critical elements needed to determine the effectiveness of a team. A total of 14 questions are asked in the team audit. A score of +1 is given for a positive response, while -1 was given for a negative response. A neutral response was given a score of 0. By measuring the 4 groups on a positive, neutral, or negative scale, this audit ensures that a team will not be classified as effective if the team receives a negative score on each question in a critical factor group. Any team that is able to amass an audit score above 9 clearly demonstrates that the team has addressed the critical elements needed to accomplish its assigned task and could be determined to be an effective team. A team that scores between 0 and 8 is classified as a proficient team. Any team that scores below 0 is classified as an underperforming team. If multiple auditors are being used to evaluate the team, the average score of the audits should be used. On this slide, we can see the 14 questions asked on the team audit and the comment box provided, which can be used by the auditor to explain a particular response or responses.
Selection of target team. Based on inputs from each team member, our team initially came up with a list of 5 currently active and well-known teams to select a team for final audit. These 5 teams were then scored based on 5 different criteria within the MAU model. These criteria were Team 8's interest level, ease of gathering information, level of success in defined mission, significance of impact to industry or area of focus, impact of work in bringing positive change to humanity. The 5 teams which were ultimately ranked and scored were Operation Warp Speed, Tesla Autopilot AI, NASA's Mars rover, NATO, and Tom Brady's 2020-2021 Tampa Bay Buccaneers team. Individual team members initially scored each team based on the MAU model, and then a combined mutually agreed team score was derived. Operation Warp Speed was ranked the highest, and everyone in the team agreed unanimously to focus on this particular team for the final project.
In order to create consistent implementation of our audit, we determined to separate the research and measurement portion and complete it individually and compile it on the back end. Once we had finalized the audit process and what we were going to assess for the effectiveness of the Operation Warp Speed team, we all went and did our own research and compiled the information through our checklist and submitted it back to our team folder. We then took these results and found the average amongst us, trying to find the most consistent scoring for how we as 5 individuals measured the success of the team.
Next, I will discuss the results. Each member of Team 8 audited Operation Warp Speed according to the criteria set out within the audit framework and their own research of the team's work. As previously mentioned, when multiple auditors are being used to evaluate the team, the average score of the audits will be used as the overall score. Overall, the team average audit score is 9.6, which indicates that Team 8 considers the Operation Warp Speed team as effective, clearly demonstrating that they were able to address the critical elements needed to accomplish their assigned task. Team 8 scored Operation Warp Speed highest in results, offering an average score of 3.6 out of 4, and lowest in relationship, offering an average score of 1.4 out of 3. Team 8 did not rate the audited team negatively in any category. This may indicate no negative impression in any audit criteria or no known negative impression due to a lack of available information. Factors that were discovered in Team 8's research that contributed to their high results rating include the accelerated development of a COVID-19 vaccine from 6 candidates. Operation Warp Speed and the independent pharmaceutical companies employed several strategies to accelerate the vaccine development. First, Operation Warp Speed selected vaccine candidates that use different technologies and vaccine platforms to mitigate risk. They also began commercial-scale vaccine manufacturing during clinical trials to shorten the timeline to distribution. Factors that were discovered in Team 8's research that contributed to their high preparation rating include pharmaceutical companies using data from existing vaccines where available.
And here is the conclusion of Team 8's audit of Operation Warp Speed team. And our conclusion of the audit is that Operation Warp Speed is a high-performing team. The average audit score was 9.6 on our scale, which categorizes it as an effective team. And the team and the project, OWS, had several features that probably played towards it being high-performing. It showed interdependence. They capitalized on interdependence of experts, the US government, and private sector pharmaceutical biotech companies. They had stretch goals, so these were achievable but challenging. They used MGT in decision making, which is structured and helped in quick decision making for a huge team of different experts from different industries and the government. And they also applied structured criteria for vaccine candidate selection, which was a process they also used in selecting a scalable industrial process. They applied knowledge brokering to achieve astonishing management innovation, also covered in this course. So they used both existing, the 4 criteria or the 4 candidates that were selected from their criteria for development as vaccines. 2 had been previously used, and 2 were new and were the benefits from the Genome Project of close to 15 years ago. The meetings were effective and carried out in virtual and face-to-face environment. And Operation Warp Speed delivered an astonishing end-to-end process from research and delivery, tests, clinical trials, policies, production, and distribution. Quite a monumental achievement for this team that was announced on 3 days after the World Health Organization, declared COVID-19 as a pandemic. The WHO declared COVID-19 as a global pandemic on May 11, 2020, and Operation Warp Speed was launched 3 days after that on May 15.